chemistry subject. The name of this chapter is a solid state. So you know that there is a different state of matter like solid, liquid or gas. Okay. So what is the matter? Matter is nothing but the strong interparticle forces of attraction. So that means the particle have a strong forces of attraction. Okay. So that means the matter is a strong interparticle force of attraction. So most of the solids, they have definite shape and volume. This definite shape and volume is because of the strong interparticle force of attraction. This definite shape and volume we can change by slightly changing with physical properties like temperature or pressure. These solids are composed from ions or molecules. Next point is which are the type of solids. Okay, which are the different type of solids. So there is a two type of solids. One is a crystalline solid and another one is a amorphous solid. Now we will see the characteristic of crystalline solid. So the crystalline solids, first characteristic of crystalline solid is that the crystalline solids have regularity and periodicity. So what is the meaning of regularity? The crystalline solids are regular in structure. Okay, regulars. So there is a no change in their crystal structure arrangement. Okay, there is a no any change in a crystal structure arrangement. So that's called as a regularity. Then periodicity. So periodicity is nothing but the long range. Okay, the crystalline solids are arranged in a long range. So then second characteristic of crystalline solid is that this crystalline solid have sharp melting point. Okay, this is the important property of crystalline solid. Crystalline solid have sharp melting point. So that means this crystalline solid melt at definite temperature. Okay, they melt at a definite temperature. The next characteristic is crystalline solids are anisotropic. So what is the meaning of this anisotropic? So anisotropic is nothing but the certain refractive index, is thermal and electrical conductivity, each change or different in a different direction. Okay, but this anisotropic is not seen in cubic structure. Okay, so that means this cubic structure are except for this anisotropic properties. Okay, so then few example is given here. You can see the crystalline solids. The sodium chloride is there, gold, copper, diamond, graphite, ceramic. So these are the example of crystalline solid. So second type of solid is amorphous solid. So this amorphous solid, the constituents particle in amorphous solids are randomly arranged. The constituents particles in amorphous solids are randomly arranged. Then do not have sharp melting points. Amorphous solids do not have sharp melting points. That means they melt gradually over a temperature and interval. Then the important property of amorphous solid is these amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Okay, isotropic. So what is the isotropic? That means refractive index, conductivity is independent on direction. Okay, that is a independent direction. That means the refractive index and conductivity is not changing with the direction. Okay, here you have to observe and you have to discuss regarding to this crystal. So first you have to collect the following solids such as a granular sugar, common salt you have to collect, and blue vitriol, that is commonly called as copper sulfate, and you have to observe the granule of these solids under magnifying lens, or you can use the microscope, and you have to discuss observation with reference of the following point, like then you have to observe the shape of granule, the smoothness of the face of the granules, and angle between various edges of the granules. So all the above solids are example of crystalline solid, and name the properties of crystals that you observed in this activity. Okay. So the next point is that isomorphism and polymorphism. Okay. So what is the isomorphism and what is the polymorphism? See, this isomorphism and polymorphism is nothing but the similarity and dissimilarity. Similarity and dissimilarity. See, this similarity and dissimilarity in a crystal structures. So different solid is described as a isomorphism and polymorphism. Different solid is described as a isomorphism and polymorphism. Now first we will see isomorphism. So name itself indicate. So isomorphism is nothing but same crystal structure. Okay, isomorphism is nothing but the same crystal structure. So that means we'll see here two or more substances having the same crystal structure are said to be isomorphous. Two or more substances having the same crystal structure are said to be isomorphous. So that means the atomic ratio in that crystal structure is a same. Okay, so here few example is given here, you can see. So the ratio of these atoms will be same. Okay, so next is a polymorphism. So name itself indicate poly means more. So polymorphism, in which a single substance that exists in two or more form. Okay, polymorphism is nothing but the single structure that exists in a two or more form or crystalline structure is said to be polymorphous or polymorphous crystalline structure. So for example is given here, calcite, aragonite, these are the two form of calcium carbonate. This calcium carbonate having two form, that is calcite and aragonite. So that means this is a single substance. Calcium carbonate is a single substance, but this exists in two or more crystalline structure. Okay, so that is calcite and aragonite. So then for silica, there is also some polymorphous of the silica like alpha quartz, beta quartz, then cristobalite. These are the three of several form of silica. Then so this polymorphism occurring element is called as a allotropy. So if polymorphism is occurring in particular elements is called as a allotroph, or you might be familiar with the different allotroph of carbon like diamond, graphite or fullerene. Okay, so these are the few example of many crystalline form of silica is given here, like this is the cristobalite, alpha quartz, and this is the beta quartz. Then next is a classification of crystalline solid. So this crystalline solids is classified into four categories. First is ionic solid, second covalent network solids, molecular solids and metallic solids. First we'll see the ionic crystal and we'll see which are the characteristics of these ionic crystals. First, the ionic crystal having the charged ions. So consider the example of sodium chloride. So ionic crystal having the charged ions. For example, Na plus or Cl minus, that is cation or anion. Okay, its size may be changed. That means cations or anions may be different in size. Okay. So then each ion is bonded to ions of opposite charge around it by the Coulomb force. Okay. Each ions in ionic crystals, they are bonded with opposite charge around it by the Coulomb force. Okay. So ionic crystals, they are held by electrostatic force of attraction. These ionic crystals are held by the electrostatic force of attraction between oppositely charged. They are these ionic crystals with the oppositely charged ions, but they are held by the electrostatic force of attraction. Then next, the ionic crystals are the non-conductor of electricity in a solid state. Okay. So these ionic crystals are non-conductor of electricity in a solid state, but they are the good conductors when melted or dissolved in a water. These are the few examples of ionic crystal is given here. Okay. So this is about the ionic crystals. Next, covalent network crystals. So we'll see which are the important characteristic of these covalent network crystals. The atoms in these crystals linked by the covalent bonds. Okay. In covalent network crystals, the atoms in these crystals are linked by the covalent bonds, and these covalent network crystals are very hard, then incompressible. Okay. When we consider its melting and boiling point, so these covalent crystals are having high melting point and boiling points. These are the poor conductor of heat and electricity. These covalent network crystals, they are the poor conductor of heat and electricity. For example, is diamond or quartz. Okay. So you have to remember this. The conductivity of covalent solids low and increase with the temperature. So conductivity of covalent solid is low, but when we increase the temperature, its conductivity also increases. Third is the molecular crystals. So substances such as, here substances is given, you can see here, these are the example of molecular crystals. Okay. The bond within molecules are covalent. So whatever the bond between these molecular crystals is a covalent bond, and these molecules are held together by the various intermolecular force of attractions. And another important property of these molecular solids is a weak dipole-dipole interaction. Weak dipole-dipole interaction. That means the polar molecules such as a solid, suppose we can consider the hydrochloric acid HCl. Okay. So the dipole-dipole interaction between hydrogen and this chloride ion is a weak. Okay. So then another very weak dispersion or London force in non-polar molecules such as solid, this methane, or this is the hydride. Okay. So then so the molecular crystals, it's having low melting points because of the weak intermolecular attractive force. So these solids are poor electrical conductor and they are the good insulator. They are the poor electrical conductor but act as a good insulators. Then metallic crystals. These metallic crystals are formed by atoms of same metallic elements. Okay, they are formed by same metallic elements and they are held together by the metallic bonds. So metallic crystals having following properties like metals are malleables. You might be familiar with this term, malleable. So that means they can be hammered into thin sheets. Then metals are ductile. Ductiles means they can be drawn into the wires. These metallic crystals are the good electrical and thermal conductivity. Example is given here: sodium, potassium, calcium, lithium. Then this is iron is there. Then this is gold, silver, cobalt. These are the example of metallic crystals. Then next important point is the crystal structure. So what is a crystal structure? Crystal structure is nothing but the three-dimensional arrangement of particle in a crystal. Okay, so crystal structure is nothing but the three-dimensional arrangement of particle in a crystals, and this described using two terms, that is lattice and basis. So first we will see the crystal lattice. So symmetrical three-dimensional arrangement of the atom inside a crystal. Okay, three-dimensional arrangement of the atom inside a crystals. Crystal lattice is also called a space lattice of crystal. This crystal lattice is also called as a space lattice of crystal. The crystal is a structure that results by attaching a basis to each of the lattice point, and it is represented by the following equations. So next is a unit cell. The unit cell is nothing but the smallest repeating structural unit of crystalline solid is called as unit cell. Smallest or repeating structural unit of crystalline solid is called as a unit cell. Okay, so then so this is the unit cell parameters. So the dimension of unit cell is along with three axes is denoted by the symbol A, B or C. This angle between these axes are represented by the symbol is alpha, beta or gamma. So then next is our type of unit cell. So there are four type of unit cell. One is a primitive or simple unit cell, body centered unit cell, face centered unit cell and base centered unit cell. First we will see primitive or simple unit cell. So in this the constituent particles are present its corner only. Okay, in primitive or simple unit cell the constituents particles are present only its corner. Okay, in simple unit cell structure. Then in body centered unit cell, one constituent particle present at center. Okay, one constituent particle present at center and additional constituent particles they are present at a corner. One at a center and additional particles present at a corner. Then third one is a face centered unit cell. In face centered unit cell, so particles at the center of each of the faces. Okay, In face-centered unit cell, the particles are present center of each faces. Then fourth, that is base-centered unit cell. This unit cell consists of particle at the center of any two of its opposite faces. Okay, so center of any two of its opposite faces. So then next is a crystal system. So in crystal system, by mathematical analysis, it's proved that only 14 different kind of space lattice are possible. So this 14 lattice which describe the crystal structure, and that's called as a Bravais lattices. Okay. Now these 14 Bravais lattices are divided into several crystal system, and the possible combination of the lattice point spacing, that is A, B and C, along with its axis. Already we saw these angles alpha, beta, gamma between these axes and give rise to the 7 crystal system. So these 7 crystal system are associated with the 14 Bravais lattices and also called as a 14 unit cell. The 7 crystal system are named cubic crystal, tetragonal crystals, orthorhombic crystals, rhombohedral, monoclinic, triclinic and hexagonal crystal system. So these are the unit cells of each of the 7 crystal system shown in here. The cubic is Bravais lattice, you can see the simple or primitive. Here you can see the arrangement of particle in this figure. So unit cell structure in cubic, simple or primitive. This is body centered, face centered. Here you can see the arrangement of particle in particular crystal structure. Then orthorhombic is Bravais lattice is a simple or primitive, body centered, face centered, then base centered. Then tetragonals, there is a 2 Bravais lattice like simple or primitive, body centered. Okay, so this rhombohedral, simple, primitive, this is the arrangement of particles in this crystal structure. Triclinic, you can see here. Then hexagon. Now the next topic is cubic system. So in this cubic system, there are 3 kind of unit cell in cubic system, that is simple cubic unit cell, body centered cubic unit cell and face centered cubic unit cell. Now first we will see the simple cubic unit cell. In simple cubic unit cells, the particle at each of the 8 corner of cube, so you can see. Then body centered cubic unit cell, so it has particle at its 8 corner, okay, 8 corner and additional particle at the center, here you can see. Then face centered of the FCC, face centered cubic unit cell, this particle at the center, you can see here center of each 6 faces in addition to particles at the 8 corner of this cube. Then we can calculate how many number of particles in cubic unit cells is present. So for that you have to refer the textbook. First, primitive or simple cubic unit cells. Simple cubic unit cells has 1 particle per unit cells. In body center cubic unit cells, thus BCC unit cells, 1 particle from 8 corner plus 1 particle in center of the cube, so making total 2 particle per BCC unit cell. Then FCC structures The FCC unit cell has one corner particle plus 3 phase particles. The total 4 particles are present in a FCC cubic unit cell. Then next topic is that packing of particles in a crystal lattice. How the packing of particles is take place in particular crystal lattice, we'll see here. The constituent particle of crystalline solid are a close pack. Okay, the constituent particles of crystalline solids, they are the closely packed. This closeness of the particles is increase or maximize the interparticles attraction. So closeness is increase the interparticle attraction. The close pack structure. What is the close pack structure? The three-dimensional close pack structure can be understood by looking at the close packaging in 1 and 2 dimensional. The three-dimensional close pack structure can be understood by looking at the close packaging in 1 and 2 dimensional. Close packaging in 1 dimensional. A close pack 1 dimensional structure result by the arranging the spheres to touch each other in a row. In close packaging 1 dimensional structure, the close package 1 dimensional structure result by the arranging the sphere to touch each other in a row. So then you can see here. Then close packaging 2 dimensional. A close package 2 dimensional structure result by stacking the row together such that they are contact with each other, and there are 2 ways to obtain the close packaging in 2 dimensional. Then square close packaging. So 1 dimensional row of close package sphere are stacked over each other such that the spheres align vertically or horizontally. The first row is labeled as A type, so being exactly same as the first row. Second row is also labeled as a type, so hence this arrangement is called as a A type, or the A type 2 dimensional arrangement. Now in this arrangement, every sphere touch 4 neighboring sphere. Every sphere touch to the 4 neighboring sphere. Hence 2 dimensional coordination number is a 4. So in this arrangement, every sphere touch to the 4 neighboring sphere. Hence this 2 dimensional coordination number is a 4. A square is obtained by joining the center of this 4 closest neighbor. So therefore this 2 dimensional close packaging is called as a square close packaging in a 2 dimensional. Then hexagonal close packaging. Here you can observe this figure. So in this arrangement, each sphere touch 6 close neighbors. So thus the 2 dimensional coordination number in this packaging is a 6. Coordination number is a 6. A regular hexagon is obtained by the joining the center of this 6 closest. Okay. Then close packaging in a 3 dimensional. So accordingly 2 crystal structure, namely hexagonal, that is hexagonal close pack SCP structure, and face centered cubic FCC structure are formed. The stacking of square close packaging layer, here you can see in this figure. The structure as a result of the stacking square close pack layer is a simple cubic. So its unit is called as primitive cubic unit cell. So it can be seen that in this simple cubic structure, each pair touch the 6 neighbor pair, 4 in its own layer, 1 in the layer above and 1 in layer below. Okay. So hence coordination number of each pair is a 6. The polonium is only metal that crystallize in a simple cubic close package structure. Next topic, that is stacking of two hexagonal close packed structure. The triangular voids that are covered by the spares of second layer generate the tetrahedral void. So you can see, you can observe these figures. So tetrahedral voids is surrounded by four spare. Okay, so tetrahedral void surrounded by, there is a four spares. On joining the center of this four spare, tetrahedron is a form. So the tetrahedron is form which encloses the tetrahedral voids, which encloses the tetrahedral polar voids, this one. So the remaining triangular voids of the first layer have above them the triangular voids of the second layer. This overlapping triangular void from the two layers together form an octahedral. So this one, by forming okay, the overlapping triangulars void form the two layer together form an octahedral voids, and which is surrounded by the six pairs. So this is about the stacking of two hexagonal close packed structures. Then placing the third hexagonal close packed layer. See, there are the two way of placing the third hexagonal close packed layer on the second. This pattern of stacking hexagonal close packed layer is called as a, so ABC, and this arrangement result in a cubic close packed structure, or this is a CCB structure. So we can see in this figure the formation of hexagonal close packed structure is here. Then if you want to calculate the packing efficiency value, so for that you have to use this formula. Packing efficiency given a measure of how tightly particles are packed together. So packing efficiency is equal to volume occupied by particle in unit cell. So in total volume of unit cell divided by total volume of unit